welcome to my next speed build. This one's going to be a bit shorter. We're building a Galapagos tortoise enclosure this time. As you can see, I basically copied the frame of the warthog enclosure, just because they have a similar size requirement for the habitat. They're both cute little animals, so I kind of went with the idea of just making that copy-paste. Obviously the inside decoration is going to be different, but you'll see in the end. And for this enclosure I decided to go with a walkable habitat, as you can do that with tortoises in this game. Also because I just love tortoises in general, and yeah, I would really enjoy if my zoo had a walkable habitat. Obviously there could be some difficulties with stress levels of the animals, but from my own experience, as I've worked in a zoo for 3 months which had tortoises, they have a pretty high stress tolerance. So usually we when I was working there, we would take them out of their habitat, let them walk around the zoo freely, or well, the grass patches in that zoo, just so they had some entertainment and some enrichment for them. The zoogoers loved it to watch them. We loved it. We could play with them. They would usually, like, the thing with tortoises, they're really color focused. So if somebody had different shoes, different sneakers than just white, so let's say you had some red stripes on your white sneakers, they would just follow you and charge at you, because somehow they just focus on colors in general. Also, like, if you have a lot of people with a lot of colored clothes, they would just switch targets all the time. It was pretty cute, and they were never stressed at all. So yeah, I guess walkable habitats make sense for these animals. There you hear me rambling on. So yeah, as I told you last time, usually I just build the frame first, get in the animals, and then go from there. So yeah, for this habitat I went with a little jungly feel. Put in a little pond later, you'll see that. And for now, I'm starting building a shelter, which I'm gonna completely get rid of in the end. So I just wasted 15 minutes on that. That's why I'm gonna speed that up to 10 times instead of the usual 6. And I'll also leave you to it. And yeah, see you again in a minute. Okay, so you see me finishing the end of my first try here. As you can see, I tried wooden roof, thatch roof, that blanket, and then support beams, but that didn't work. So I just put in some regular beams and deleted everything else. First I thought, damn, it's gonna look boring, but then I put those unpainted planks in there, and I think it turned out great. I don't know why, it just looks good in my opinion. I guess that's the advantage if you build for smaller animals. You don't have to go big. You can just go small and intricate, or make some simple builds. Like, even this is probably too high for them. I could have made that half the height, and they could have still gone under there and slept. So yeah, here you see my awesome wall of fame on Twitch again. And yeah, I think now I'll actually start with the habitat. Okay, so for the terrain, I don't know how. In Germany it's terrain, so I don't know. They want mostly just grass and sand and rock. It's pretty easy. They don't have very special things they want. Just, I think the only one where you saw there, they have a minimum is the sand. Everything else can be 0 if you want to. So that's great. I always love that. And here, as I told you before, I decided to go with a pond. And now some people might ask, well, but why would you build a pond for tortoises? They can't even swim. Well, yes, in this game they can't swim, but in real life they can. And this is also just a thing I found out while I was working at the zoo, because I also thought, okay, it's turtles that swim and tortoises that don't swim. That's the difference. But I think the difference is more like turtles dive, tortoises don't. So I don't know if all tortoises, but some tortoise species have a swim bladder, so they can float. They float in the water, but they don't sink. So you might see them in the water sometimes. Well, still in this game they don't go inside the water, but I guess I understand. It's more understandable than, for example, you have the Japanese macaques in this game, and that's the thing that annoys me a little bit. Maybe you know that, or you have seen pictures of these Japanese macaques. That's the white monkeys with the red faces. They live in Japan, and they always bathe in hot springs. And sadly, they didn't implement swimming for these macaques in this game. I don't know exactly why. It's one of their main traits that they're known for. I know not all monkeys swim, and not in every region in Japan where they live there are hot springs, but like if you go on Instagram or travel blogs, you always see the bathing monkeys. So I don't know why they didn't implement that. I still built them hot springs in my Japanese macaque habitats. I know, just to make it look more realistic, I guess. Same with the tortoises. I know they won't go into the water in this game, but still I built the pond. And yeah, now I'm just placing some rocks for the finishing touches, and later comes some enrichment. I went with that jungly look, as you can see, lots of bushes, little plants, and yeah. And while I'm at it, let me tell you a fun story about my time at the zoo. So again, on the topic of tortoises, as I told you, I didn't know that they could swim before I went to work at that zoo. So the one time I just went around the zoo, did my regular checkups, and then I saw a tortoise in the turtle pond. Obviously I was scared as shit, because I just didn't know they could swim there, so I just went to the next staff member and asked them, dude, why is there a tortoise in the turtle pond? And then they told me about that swim bladder. So yeah, I learned something new that day, and maybe you learned something new today. And that I'm happy with. Okay, so now for the finishing touches, you'll see me put in some enrichment. I'll turn that away so the tortoises can actually hide a bit more. Because they do get stressed sometimes, but that's why I gave them the little shelter. And for the outside, you'll just see me basically copying the style of decoration from the warthog habitat. With those roofs, those glass roofs, with fences separating it, or making it seem like some kind of stable entrance or something. I don't know. That's what I see when I look at this. I think that's also everything. So I guess I won't have to tell you about that. It's pretty self-explanatory when you see me building. So I'm gonna actually leave you guys for now. Thank you for watching. Again, this one's a bit shorter, but well, we'll see what I build next time. Maybe something bigger again. Then you can see some more of it. And so, yeah, tune in for the next time on Animal Facts with Adrian. Okay, see you guys. Bye.